Hello everyone, I'm here today to do a deck review and flip through for the deck that I have chosen to work with this week for a new series I'm thinking of making. So the deck that I chose to work with this week is one that I worked with a lot in the year 2020, the Medieval Cat Tarot by Gina M, illustrated by Laurence Teng. This is a US Games production, and it comes in a tuck box like this. It's an older deck from 2014, but I think it's still a very relevant one. Inside you get a very well-written little white book, a title card, and a little explanation card. You can pause it if you want to read through the full card there. As I said, the little white book is written really well. There's an introduction written by the illustrator, which is very nice. And then the majors all get about a page of writing, while the minors are really focused on the court cards. There's a blurb about court cards in general, and then each court card has its own little blurb before going into the individualized meanings. I really like how the court cards are organized in this deck, and you will see that later on in the flip through. So we saw the knights also have a little blurb here before they go into their individualized meanings. You will also find two unique card spreads, both of which I've used quite a lot. The first one here uses only the court cards, and they relate to your karmic lesson, recent past lesson, the present, the near future lesson, and the outcome. And again, that's just using the court cards in the deck. The second spread is the one that got me using larger spreads in general, because it's called the short but sweet spread. So it's not short in the amount of cards, but the way you read them can be really quick and easy because they're grouped into threes or into pairs, and that's how you would read them, just in the pairs that they show up in. So it's not overwhelming trying to look at the whole spread. I think it's a good introduction into spreads that use more cards without overwhelming beginners. So great little booklet. If you have this deck, I recommend giving it a read through. The card majors are not numbered, and that was intentional so that the reader can decide what order they want to put the major cards in. And I think that's mostly for the strength card that can be traditionally in the 8th or 11th position. But it's nice that you can restructure the deck the way you want to. The minor cards, on the other hand, are pippish, but they have a little window that illustrates the RWS meaning, but using the same style as the rest of the deck. The pips themselves are always broken into two parts, so you can read them numerically. So here you have 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. You know, that's a kind of stability. Here you have 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. So you have a more stable bottom than the top, and you can read into the positioning of the pip cards as you wish. However, numerology is not mentioned at all in the booklet. So if you're like me and you got this deck to introduce yourself to pip cards, you might still need a other source to read from if you want to get the full advantage of using the pips and not just relying on these little windows. The cardstock itself is thin but sturdy, and the cards are narrower and shorter than regular tarot, which fits really well into my hand, and I really enjoy the way they shuffle. I've heard people describe this kind of cardstock as being buttery because they slide really well, but they don't stick and they're not overly sticky. They're not glossy and they're not matte, as you can see. I'm right next to a window, and that's as much reflection as I get on these cards. I've used these for quite a long time, and you can start to see some wearing on the borders and on the sides, but it's nothing major, and I am pretty rough with my cards. So I'm really happy with this cardstock. It's very manageable and it holds up well over time, in my opinion. So without further ado, let me get to the flip through. The only non-cat figures in the deck are on the aces, and there's different animals to represent the different elements on each ace. So in conclusion, I think this is a really nice deck. I think my favorite part about it is the way that the quartz are shown in a progression. So here you have the Page of Wands, and there's a little bit of fire here. And in the Knight of Wands, there's a lot more fire. And then again, that fire grows until finally there's a lot of fire in the King of Wands. And each court card has that kind of progression of seeing more of the element as the chords progress. And visually, I really enjoy that. So that has been my unboxing and review of the Medieval Cat Tarot. If you have any questions about the deck that you want answered, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for joining me here today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you are, whenever this is that you're watching it. And remember to take care and stay safe.